Hi, and welcome to Thus Saith the Lord. I'm the Lord, your host. Now, what I want to do with this show, what I've got in mind, what I'm thinking of, is I have really stupid, crazy ideas all the time. And I want to share those ideas with other people in the hopes that eventually someone is actually going to get around to making some of this stuff happen, because I don't have time to do everything. I've got enough insanity on my plate right now, but that doesn't mean that more doesn't kind of sneak in there, so I'm just sort of shuffling that off onto other people's plates just to see if they'll eat it. Now, today I had a really crazy idea that I really want to pass along to everyone. I work at a restaurant as my day job, and, because I got to pay the insurance that I don't actually pay, but that's another story for another time. In the meantime, though, that is my day job. I work in a restaurant, and I'm sorry, restaurants, kind of boring if you think about it. You go, you order your food, you get your food, you eat your food, you pay, you leave. It's not that interesting. Maybe they got a cool fish tank, or, if you're going to a dinner theater or medieval times, you get a little bit of a show involved, but it's always so scripted and obvious, and you know what's going to happen, and there's no real surprises. There's not a lot of drama involved. And as such, it kind of makes the experience repetitive and boring, even if it's good food. And I like good food, obviously. I work in a restaurant. There's a good reason for that. I like good food. But I want a little bit more of an experience when I go out to eat. If I'm just going out to eat, I might as well stay home and eat. That's where the food lives also. So here's my thought, here's my idea. And again, I really hope someone does this at some point in time within safety strictures. I want to see a Nerf restaurant. And I don't mean like everything made out of Nerf. I mean like everyone from the bus boys all the way up to the hostess and servers and bartenders armed with Nerf guns at all times. Like I want everyone like shoulder slinging, hip slinging, Nerf guns of every kind, shape, and variety. Like the servers alley where the servers go and hide and get your drinks and all that. Either end of that, I want to see a mounted Nerf assault weapon. They've got like the tripod-mounted, battery-powered, belt-fed Nerf monster guns. I really want one at either end of those to create kind of a safe zone like base, and here we are. And I think that would be a lot more interesting if you had a staff that was fully armed with Nerf in a lot of ways. One is kind of from the business owner's perspective. You're going to have a lot less problems with people having issue with each other, because let's face it, if someone gets really annoyed at someone else, when you can just pull out a Nerf gun and shoot them in the head, that really does kind of work a lot of those kinks out. But if you also, you get shot in the head and you're upset about it, you have an immediate way to respond in a violently nonviolent manner by pulling out your own Nerf gun and shooting the other person in the head. And as such, you end up with duels, essentially, is my idea here. If two servers bump into each other, or one server takes another server's table, or one busboy doesn't know why a server does something, and they just decide, heck with it, we're going to duel, and they whip out the Nerf guns and start shooting each other. Also, I think this could be a lot of fun as far as kind of keeping everyone balanced and working together in the weirdest ways. Just break everyone up into groups. Can you imagine it? The bus boys coming out, covering each other, hiding behind tables as they try to get to the tables to pull the dishes out, while the waiters and waitresses are trying to pick them off from their various and sundry positions. Really making them earn that percentage of tips that they get. I think that could be a lot of fun. Imagine just sitting at the table watching this drama as it unfolds, as the different teams are just sitting there shooting at each other. Every time someone goes by, you end up with Nerf darts everywhere. And now imagine, you got your host stand where your employees are coming in, and the first thing that happens is, they get their little radio with their little earpiece that everyone in every restaurant has to have now, because we got to talk to each other constantly. But, here's your radio, here's your earpiece, here's your Nerf weapon. What would you like today? And imagine a giant cage behind the host stand of just different Nerf weapons. And just, are you feeling more assault rifle or more sidearm today? Oh, little of both. All right, good. Now, were you going for battery powered or hand powered? Are you feeling lucky, punk? And from a business owner's perspective, again, this is great, because what's the worst problem you have, especially in a restaurant? If you end up with downtime, no one's paying attention. They're all just kind of dragging through. They're not really paying attention to what they're doing. But if you could end up getting pelted by a Nerf dart in the face at any point in time, you're paying attention. Your staff is awake and alert, and you as the owner, manager, whatever, can just be walking around with your own Nerf gun, And just like that one's not paying attention. Paching! And if they dodge, you know they may have looked like they were out of it, but they were paying attention. They were paying attention to everything going on, and as such, you know it's working. Everyone's on board. But again, imagine you're sitting there in the restaurant and you have no idea when a massive gunfight between the servers and the busboys with covering fire provided by the host stand, and then, you know, the bartenders just start pulling up their assault weapons, and everyone is just pelting each other with Nerf darts. And this could happen at any point in time. Isn't that a restaurant you'd want to go eat at just to be like, you know, the food's okay, but seriously, there may be a gunfight here. Like, we may need to help out and provide cover fire for our servers. I think that would also be kind of a fun aspect of it too, was when people came to this, would eventually kind of get into it. And next thing you know, like, people are just kind of walking in, like, say hello to my little friend. And then everyone pelts them with Nerf darts. And if you think about it, the only real safety equipment you would need, because they're Nerf darts, would be the Nerf glasses. Just, you know, you need to protect eyes. Everything else is just embarrassing. It's not really damaging when you get hit by it. And especially if you get some smart Alecks. Because, like, I know where I work, I got some smart Alecks who have really good hand-eye coordination. I can really just imagine the disc shooters, the Nerf disc shooters, high-powered, extremely bouncy bastards, that they could make some really interesting trick shots. I think that would be really, really fun in the middle of just, you know, if you got a boring lunch and all of a sudden you're getting pegged in the back of the head by someone who's technically in front of you because they've got a disc shooter and they are really good at trick shots. Wouldn't that be entertaining to watch? Or if you're in the bar and you're drunk off your ass and you just see Nerf darts whizzing by and you're just like, hello. Yes, it's like a John Woo film, but with safety standards. It's going to be awesome. I think this should totally happen. Just put a little disclaimer on the door. Warning, this is a Nerf dart zone. Nerf risk. Not like Nerf is much of a risk, just don't bring small children in, essentially, because little kids might get a hold of the Nerf darts and try to swallow them, and, you know, I know they've got a hole right through the center that you can breathe through, but only if the cap falls off, and it's just not safe, so you don't even want to mess with that. So definitely you wouldn't allow children in, you'd have to put a warning on the door, you'd have to have everyone have safety goggles on, but other than that, Nerf or nothing. And, you know, maybe have, like, themes. Like, you know, Nerf itself has so many themes now. There's, like, post-apocalyptic, and there's zombie, and then there's high-tech stuff. And you can get your own modded weapons. Can you imagine just having, like, a steampunk weaponry setup? I think that would be totally badass. Getting your own mods as far as, like, your own holsters, like shoulder holsters, belt holsters, you know, cross-draw holsters, Yaki slides. I think it could be wicked. Get the really, really smart Aleck guy like myself that could have like a tiny little Nerf gun, but set up on a rig on the wrist, so it's just like, oh, you're out of Nerf darts, haha, we're gonna shoot you now, ka-ching, haha, pa-toom. I got one more. Again, this is one of the weirder ideas I've had at work, and I tried to get them to do it, and everyone was actually really on board with this, except for management. But I think if we keep working on management, they might do it, but otherwise, I really hope one of you lunatics thinks it up and figures it out how to make this work in a realistic sense, because I want to eat at that restaurant. Like, I will pay extra money to eat at that restaurant, and I will happily accept the risk of getting a Nerf dart in my food, just to be able to have that kind of entertainment and that kind of possibility for entertainment in my day. And thinking about it from like the third perspective of not just a customer being there, but myself being there as a customer, I would walk in with like a concealed Nerf dart gun to the effect of I would want to try to instigate everyone else getting into a Nerf dart fight while I'm just sitting there eating my steak and watching and laughing my ass off. Because I'm a sick bastard, but I'm really good at it is the problem. So, anyway, if you do get an idea to do this and want to try it out, please let me know how it goes, unless, you know, don't actually go out and hurt anyone. If you go out and just try to instigate this yourself at, like, a Chili's or a Red Robin, you're probably going to get thrown out and probably not be allowed back in. I'm just going to throw that out there now. I'm really just tossing this out there for folks who already have restaurants, maybe a little place, and you're looking for something to make it kind of neat and kitschy, and just you, like nobody else has this. Nobody else has Nerf gunfights happening in the middle of the restaurant while dinner's being served. I'm just saying, you could really make a mark And I tell you what, if you take this idea and run with it, all I'm going to ask is, when I show up, I eat there free. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, totally. Make this happen. Let me know. And if you have any sick, twisted ideas of your own that you want to throw at me, that you want to be like, look, I kind of had this idea, but I need help developing it. Could you kind of run it through your mill and spit it back, and let me hear what you have to say about this? No problem. Just get a hold of us at the website, Guild of Un-Medicated Hijinks at gmail.com, and we will look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, if you liked what you're hearing, please go ahead and hit like, because we do pay attention to that, as well as where you people are and what you're listening to. So, we hope to hear from you soon. I hope to hear from you next time. Talk to you later.